Hey guys, welcome to another video. Before we begin, I have some things to get off my chest here. So, it was brought to my attention by YouTube Analytics that there was a small, tiny search result on this website called Exvius.com, which I have not heard of before, and I don't know why I was mentioned there, but they were critiquing me, a small channel like myself. I'm tiny compared to other YouTubers. So I don't even know how they found me, but they said I'm a bad reviewer. So I just wanted to point that out. That if you guys have any feedback, just let me know in the comment section. You guys don't need to go on a very strange forum or something that I haven't heard of before and criticize me there behind my back. Just say it to my face in the comment section. I'm completely open to feedback. I've always been open to feedback. You guys can go back and watch my other videos. I've always said I'm open to feedback. I'm looking for any kind of feedback. Just don't put something like stop snorting or something like that. I'm constantly trying to update my settings, my sound settings. I just did right now, so hopefully it sounds a little better. Maybe it sounds worse. Who knows? But always open to more feedback. So, anyways, now that we've got that out of the way, I'm gonna set some ground rules for my review, since maybe some people don't know. I haven't really talked about that much lately, so this is the case for my reviews. 3 sections. Number 1. What's the environment look like on the JP side? What are the rewards looking at? I have to take that in consideration when doing this review. Are they comparable to other units? Are there ULCable units that are free that people can get that are comparable to the unit that I'm reviewing? And finally, we have to get this out of the way too. Is the unit useful or is the unit nostalgic? Because I'm looking at the unit in a useful basis, not nostalgic basis. So even though there might be a unit that's super nostalgic, I have to be critical of the unit, regardless of its fan favoritism or not. You have to be fair to all units, and considering this review in particular, since they're limited time units, if Summon Fest units are on the table, I can compare them. It's only fair, guys. I can compare other limited time units to these units because they're limited time. So that's all I've got to say about that. So let's actually get into it now. Now, I've already looked over this unit. This is not my first look. Taking into consideration some feedback. So I've already looked over the unit. She's pretty strange, but we'll get into that. The TMR is pretty good. Pretty good for people who do not have like Sakura's STMR or something. Maybe Soul's STMR. But the STMR is a joke. Like it's not 100% TGH. It's only 50%. And only 50% charm. We already have 100% charm with Locke's TMR. And that's a TMR, guys. So, meh. I was gonna chase it, but now I'm just like not really worth chasing. So TMR is good though. Now here's where the strangeness begins. None of these moves stack. She just has starter straight frames, which is good, but none of these moves stack. They don't have any stacking capabilities. You know where the stacking comes in? Her cooldowns. And yes, the modifiers are pretty high for them to be stacked, but they're nowhere near as high as CD Darkfina. Nowhere near as high. So you can use all of her cooldown. You can use all of her abilities on her triple cast or dual cast or anything like that. And also another thing, she doesn't get triple cast like other mages. So she just doesn't seem very good, except for the Aurora chain. But it's like this is like a Rainbow Whip almost, right? I just assumed that this was just a regular Aurora. I didn't see this one, so it's interesting. It's kind of like a Rainbow Whip, but It's a horror race, so you can't chain her with it. So, I don't know, she just doesn't seem very good. And you can criticize me for saying, just automatically saying she's not good, but like, look, compared to other mages that are in the game, and including limited edition ones, they're far better than her. They have stacking damage. They have ways to imperil. None of these imperil, right? Does she have any way to imperil? 'Cause I haven't looked for that yet. 'Cause I don't see it. I don't see any ways to imperil here. Her Olympus doesn't give imperils. So where is she getting her damage from? She's not imperiling at all. This only increases resistances. This unit seems really bad on multiple cases. She has no imperils unless, oh, here's the dark one. Okay, so she does have a dark one. But what about the other ones? Am I going blind? I mean, I'm just really tired. I'm gonna look again. Make it really sure that I'm not looking stupid. No, I don't see anything. She only has that dark one. That's it. This one doesn't. Maybe it's not fully. It doesn't. I'm sure it is by now. There's no other imperils besides the dark one, which is pretty high. I will admit that's pretty high, 120%, but doesn't chain anything. Whereas other Chaos Wave chainers have an imperil in their Chaos Wave chain already, and like, what's the point of using all these other ones? It doesn't imperil for those moves. She only can do dark, effectively. So, I mean, this just seems awful. She's just really bad. She has 100% TDH in her kit area, which is interesting. But she just doesn't seem like a very good unit. There's so many things that are missing. More imperils. Where are the imperils for Earth and Ice? Where are the modifier buffs? What's that move she gets? For this move? Oh, it's just her dual. Wait, what? No, it's not the dual cast. I was like, what? Okay, she actually does get triple cast for. No, this is not a passive. I was a little confused because there's a passive on Duran's kit that's strange or something. I don't know. We'll have to look into that in a second. So I think this is just lore based because Duran has the similar situation where he has a bunch of other elements. Oh, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. So overall, this unit's not very good, and that's my assertion. No stacking damage besides her cooldown abilities that give modifier buffs. And while this is pretty high, you can only use this on turn 4. Olympus doesn't give any imperils, and it's only a one-hit move, I think. I mean, 300% magic is really high. I'll give it that. You don't even have to max it. 300% magic is the highest you can ever possibly get. No buffer can get that high. But it doesn't have any imperils, so I mean, she's gonna be doing damage, but she's not gonna be doing more damage than CD Dark Fiend. I will guarantee you that, because CD Dark Fiend has several things to choose from. She has several imperils to choose from, whereas Angela here can only use Dark effectively. So I don't know. Even if you don't have any even if you don't have any Chaos Wave Chainers, there's so many in the game that you can UOC right now. You can UOC Soul, although I wouldn't recommend it at this point. You can UOC Kefka. He's still really, really, really good. You can UOC CD Terra. You can wait for CG Dark Fiend to be on banner. There's tons of Chaos Wave Chainers in the game, so I just don't think that she's worth going forward. And remember what we talked about in nostalgia. I'm not reviewing her in nostalgia basis. I'm reviewing her only for her usefulness. So please don't get mad at me for criticizing your favorite unit and saying that she's bad. I'm saying as a useful unit, she's bad. If you still want to chase her because she's your favorite unit in the game that she comes from, fine. Like, my reviews are not law binding. You guys can just do whatever you want. I'm just here giving my opinion on the unit. So, I just think that she's a little too strange. The unit's just not complete, and she's not going to get a boss buff. Because she's a limited time unit for a collab, so she's not going to get anything. Enhancements are going to be for a long ways away. Enhancements are not going to come for a long time for her, so it's true that she has some interesting passes and things, but just overall not needed. Her kid's just way too strange for me, so I've gotten way too much into this. I spent around 6 minutes talking about her, I think, so we're just going to move on now. Duran is the one that I thought was going to be the troll for Angela, but actually it might be the other way around. Other than his TMR is kind of bad though. 40 attack is way too low, and you're basically equipping a sword, two-handed sword, but there aren't any two-handed swords, really, that I can think of. There probably are some, I can't think of any right now. I don't know, so it's making me basically try to get that STMR, and I don't know if that's worth it just for him, but he basically has to equip a sword to get that 20% attack bonus. So his TMR is kind of bad, but the unit itself is pretty good, I think. Now here's the problem with him as well as the other unit. He has a bunch of elements that you can choose from, but from my understanding at least, maybe I'm not seeing it properly, but I don't see where, I do not see where he can get, imperils for those other moves. Oh. See, I looked over his kit and I was looking for an imperil, but here it is, but it's only 2 turns, that's really low. He can dual skill it though. It's only available on turn 4, so actually that's kind of stupid. That's really bad, actually. So the main thing I was thinking is just sticking with Dark, just like Angela, basically sticking with Dark. Don't worry about these other elements, because they're just not really worth your time. If you can't get an Imperial for those moves until turn 4, it's way too late. Most damage dealers can be damage dealing right now. Onion Knight can be dealing damage on turn 2 and 3. He has to wait until turn 4 to deal damage with these other elements, so instead, you should work on getting his Limit Burst filled, because his Limit Burst has a 100% Dark Imperil, which is lower than most units, and you have to max it. But I think it's worth it to stick with Dark and make into like a Limit Burst trainer, kind of like CG Rain, because 35 times damage, and we'll see why this is kind of insane. This move right here. Can I click on it? No. I like to make it dark. So I don't know if this is a passive that's not supposed to be here or not, but this is really insane. This is like one of the only insane things about his kit, honestly. He gets a lot of modifier buffs, basically just like CG Bart's, where it just stays until he dies. And it also gets limit burst damage increase. So yes, I want to use this cooldown ability here for the LB fill 250%. There's no way he doesn't get it in the next turn or so. He also gets triple cast, and also I believe she had like a limit burst damage. Yeah, 50% right here. So he's kind of like CG Rain, but except for using Dark instead. So he's really good, actually. He's really good. Should be No, not you. Where's... Here. This guy is really good. I feel like... So max... I don't know what that... I don't know what the 400 is. It's not the damage. It can't be the cost, because it's not. It can't be 4,000. That'd be stupid. That would not be good at all. So I assume this is only 40, because it says on the wiki that says only 40. I'm assuming this is a typo. It's 400. That'd be the highest cost for a limited person of all time. There's no way it costs that much. So STMR, like we talked about, is pretty much only good for him. It has very high attack though. His TMR kind of holds him back. It's awful. It's pretty bad, but it is what it is. Now, this is an activated ability, so we can see here that it costs 0 MP, so it's not a passive. So I would definitely say activate this turn 1. You cannot dual skill it, but like there's so much stuff in here. You get triple cast, you get dark resistance, you get modifier buffs, you get limb burst damage, and you also get one ability, which is, I think it's just that chaining move. Let's search it. So it's this. You can basically increase. Actually, he might take a little bit of turns to deal damage, but like, look at this. 100% dark resistance and even more modifier buffs, and also more limb burst damage. That's crazy. He already has 50% and 15 from activating the first ability. That's actually really crazy. And you definitely want to equip his TMR because you really want to get these stats. I'm assuming that the 100% Dragon Killer is a lore-based thing, but like if she's facing dragons, dude, they are going to die. They are going to die very fast. This limp burst is insane, plus the limp burst damage. Like that's bonkers, man. Like that's actually blowing my mind. I didn't think that limited edition here could be this good. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this guy is too slow, but he's a little slow. You have to wait a few turns, but I think it's worth it. CG Rain has to wait a few turns to get his limp burst up, so it's not like it's any different. But like he's insane damage, man. But you can only stick with dark. Don't go with any of these other elements unless you have outside imperils for them, because his limp burst only gives imperil for dark, and you have to wait 4 turns to be able to use this one. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is he good? Am I going too far? Am I going crazy? Because I honestly feel like he's good. He has starter strike frames. He has aurora chaining frames. He could chain with Onion Knight, but his limit burst is his main source of damage. As you can see, his modifiers don't increase here, except for his cooldowns and such. So he's kind of like that one unit, I can't remember the name, where you can add a bunch of elements. You can choose a bunch of elements. It's from that one collab. Sorry, it's so early in the morning. I don't even know. But this guy is crazy good. The only thing I can really compare him to is CG Rain, because honestly, he blows pretty much all the other Limburst damage units out of the water. Maybe Regina has a chance against him, but he has built-in imperils for dark. So I just feel like he's crazy. I don't know who he changed with though. That's based on my review on him. He's insanely powerful. Definitely the better of the two. Angela, on the other hand, is kind of a disappointment and should not be considered. Unless you like nostalgia, of course, but for useful purposes, if you miss out on CG Rain but you like the Limit Burst meta, this guy is definitely something to chase. Honestly, he's really good. You can build him up as with a bunch of Limit Burst damage equipment and just go to town. But I feel like the limitation he's gonna have is that he needs to equip a sword, but his just Team R is the sword, so it's a little hard. Do you think he's worth pulling for though? Yes. Do I think he's worth going broke over? No. And I will show you why you may want to consider not doing it, because the step up is awful, dude. Like, look at this. No guaranteed rainbows. That's a 4-star ticket, which should be in the King Mug. By the way, there's no tickets at all in the King Mug, so that's fun, right? And you only get tickets starting from the 3rd step. Now, you could do the 3-step, or you get a ticket each time, but like the step was also bad. Like Cactuars, really? Cactuars? Terrible, man. You get a bunch of those in raids, man. You just wait for raids. You get I think it's a guarantee. I assume it's guaranteed, but I think it might also just be a one-time raid up. I don't know. But I don't know. This just seems so awful, man. At least you can do the daily and maybe get one of them. But I wouldn't hold your breath because you can get all 5 of them pretty much. But this step up is just so bad. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't think this step up is good at all because you have to waste this amount of lapis first before you can start getting the limited time tickets. But this guy is really good, 100%. I not guarantee. I will. It's so early when I can't even think of the vocabulary for this. My stamp of approval on this guy, but not on her. Sorry. I just don't think that she's very good at all compared to other Chaos Wave chainers. She's just too strange. They were saying, how can we make the strangest Chaos Wave chainer in the game? And then there they went. That's what they went with. So I think Duran is definitely the winner. I've said already multiple times. I just want to make assurance for everybody. Duran is definitely the winner here, and Julia, I think, what is her name? And Angela, sorry. What did I think? Julia. Angela is definitely the loser. But again, for nostalgia purposes, go for it. But for useful purposes, go for Duran if you can. Didn't mean for that to rhyme. Alright guys, that's about it. Hopefully I covered everything and I didn't miss out on anything. 22 minutes, my god, sorry guys. I assume most of you probably will not be watching past this point, so if you are still watching, thank you for watching and thanks for always watching my videos. I will continue to try getting stronger and better, trying to research as much as possible, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Please leave comments down below. Thank you.